All right, we've been offline all week. It's been a weird week. Everything's gone wrong. That could go wrong has gone wrong. Anyway, I just want to touch this one real quick. I just saw Steven Crowder's video where he called the editor-in-chief over at Mashable to talk about this article. And I've brought up the article side by side, the original and the correction, because they did in fact issue a correction pretty quickly, which is okay. To their credit, they did that. But let's take a look at this correction. So Steven Crowder was recently remonetized, and one of his concerns, and it's a valid concern, absolutely, is that Mashable ran an article about his being remonetized, this article, in fact, before the remonetization was announced. Now, to be clear, according to Crowder, his legal team and YouTube's legal team had agreed to not publicize the remonetization prior to its occurrence. And Mashable published this article prior to that occurrence. So one of the questions that Crowder had in this video was, who's the source? How did you guys find out about this before anybody was supposed to know about it? And you'll see the headline has not been altered. It says, YouTube remonetizes Steven Crowder after suspension for racist, homophobic harassment. And then YouTube remonetizes Steven Crowder after suspension for racist, homophobic harassment. So, funny thing, Carlos Maza, the video maker, the content producer, I guess, in question, who alleged the racist, homophobic harassment. I'll be fair. Crowder called him a lesbian queer. Now, I'll be real fair. That's how Carlos Maza refers to himself generally. He uses that exact same language often on video to describe himself. So Crowder goes in and digs into this article with he was unable to get a comment from Amanda Yo, the original reporter that wrote the erroneous article. But let's look at the claims. Last June, YouTube demonetized conservative commentator Steven Crowder after the Vox writer Carlos Maza called the website out for failing to enforce its anti-harassment policies against him. Now, let's be very clear about this. Steven Crowder has been remonetized because YouTube cannot prove that the things that Carlos Maza alleged actually occurred. And what Maza alleged goes far beyond he called me a lesbian queer. And you can see, I mean, the links are too numerous to list here. Normally I'll put links in the description, but because we're dealing with this article, the links are here, and I really want to make the point about this. They didn't substantiate anything. The links that they put in here, they went out of their way to not include links to evidence supporting individual claims. Like, they reference Maza's tweets, but when they start making claims about Crowder doing specific things, they offer no evidence. And that was his principal complaint, that you're making false statements and offering no corroboration to support these statements. And it says Crowder's monetization, YouTube has now quietly re-enabled Crowder's monetization, allowing him to resume earning income from a channel spreading dangerous misinformation such as Obama-funded China's COVID leaking lab. Okay. Apparently I'm getting an update to something. So, this is funny. They don't bother to link an article here of him actually making this claim. Damn it, computer, you're not allowed to. You don't get to tell me when I do things. Okay. So they don't make a link here to anything that he actually said. There's no evidence that he made this claim. But let me show you something interesting real quick. Here we've got the Intel show. Intel shows Obama administration funded Wuhan lab in 2015. This is from the Conservative Daily News. The National Institute of Health under former President Barack Obama gave the Wuhan Institute Virology in China $3.7 million grant to conduct experiments on bats from caves where deadly coronavirus is believed to originated. Okay, so there's an article making a claim. Here's PJ Media with a correction to an article making the same claim. So their original article makes the claim that $3.7 million in grants to Wuhan. The correction says that that this is incorrect. The National Institutes of Health gave roughly $3.4 million to EcoHealth Alliance over the course of 6 years, including under the Trump administration. Of that, less than $600,000, so what, $599,000 went to the lab in Wuhan. So this correction does not say that that money did not go to the Wuhan lab. And then you go back to, here's Snopes doing their fact check. We're debunking daily. That's hilarious. While it isn't unusual to see international cooperation in the field of virology, this claim stretches the truth. Mixture. What's true? A portion of $3.7 million in grants awarded by the National Institutes went global health nonprofit organization helped fund research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology in China. And according to these guys, so Snopes doesn't even actually debunk it. Snopes just says that the whole $3.7 million didn't go to the Wuhan lab. Turns out some of it did, which means the statement that the Obama administration, Obama funded Chinese COVID leaking lab, that's a true statement. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do with that. This sentence is false. It may not be a lie, as you'll see as we go through the rest of these two articles. Amanda Yo is not somebody who does research. She didn't corroborate anything. She didn't look for any evidence to support her fallacious claims, but she did report in several instances patently false information and offer no evidence to corroborate it, because there is no evidence to corroborate it. Here she's making a counterfactual claim where the fact of the matter is that Obama did fund China's COVID leaking lab. That is not a statement in controversy. Demonetizing was already insufficient, but this decision proves that YouTube has no real interest. Oh, let's see if there's a correction. She did not correct that. So this factually false statement has remained uncorrected, and Steven Crowder did in fact mention it and ask about it when he spoke to the editor on the air. Demonetizing was already insufficient, said Maza. And he left YouTube. It was pretty clear that Maza was asked to leave YouTube. That is technically conjecture, but the going theory that seems pretty apparent is that he was asked to leave because he was just making too much noise. He was drawing the wrong kind of controversy for Vox's taste, which is hilarious. Part of that controversy, of course, is that he published a lot of blatant lies, and where he and Crowder got into it is basically that Carlos Maza would publish a video that was deeply factually wrong, and then Crowder would go and actually do research and debunk it, which, good on him. So this statement remains uncorrected. YouTube, and I'll even be fair, I'll pop down here real quick. Let's see, on the update, The closest they got to correcting the closest they got to correcting this, allowing him to resume spreading dangerous misinformation. In a statement to Mashable, Crowder disputes our claim that he promotes coronavirus conspiracy theories. He says, I believe it's a real thing, and we have amended the text to reflect this. Now, to be clear, what Crowder said is, I believe that coronavirus is a real thing. I have advocated for the use of masks since before it was cool. Just like on this channel. We were talking about the coronavirus back in, I think, October, November of last year, and we started talking about masks as early as the end of January, when the powers that be were telling you that masks were ineffective, and even more importantly, they were so ineffective that you shouldn't buy them because all the doctors needed them. And we pointed out how bizarre and inconsistent a logical train that was. So that's somewhere that Crowder and I have definitely been on point since the beginning with this. YouTube has a tremendous profit incentive to keep hate speech on the platform. He continued. That's Mazza continues. Hate performs well and drives up the company's numbers. It has never had an interest in enforcing its rules and uses them solely to distract journalists. Well, let's check out that claim real quick. Let's pop over to YouTube. Let's take a peek at trending. Let's see. Call of Duty. Ooh. Extreme 20,000 Fall Guy Challenge. Democrat National Convention Day 3. Okay, Carlos, I'll give it to you. There's a lot of what you should call hate speech by your definition. There's a lot of that going on here. Let's see. Nope. Fortnite House Tour. Kamala Harris's full speech. This should be banned for hate speech under your rules. Let's see. BTS Bangtan Sonyeondan. Oh, okay. Bangtan is dynamite. Bang thing. Okay, bang stick. Got it. LeBron and Lakers. Okay, so hate speech is the thing, huh? Let's take a look at under music. Is hate speech the thing there? Laugh now, cry later. I don't. Oh God, that. Well, I would say that Cardi B's WAP should be considered hate speech. It's deeply misogynistic and racist against women of color. But the rest of it looking like maybe not so much. How's about under news? Steve Bannon indicted for fraud in border wall fundraising scheme. That might be interesting. Check that out. More Democratic National Convention, DNC 2020, lightning strikes spark new fires in California. That looks like just straight news. So I'm gonna have to give Carlos's I'm gonna have to give his statement here a mostly false. Right? That's how they do it on old Snopes, right? So YouTube has tremendous profit incentive. Crowder's videos repeatedly targeted Mazza for years, making disparaging comments about the writer's sexuality and ethnicity. Yeah, go watch the videos. He called him a lispy queer a couple of times. He made fun of the lisp, and like one comes to mind where Mazza was doing a thing on toxic masculinity, and it was very effeminately, very intentionally, and shall we say performatively being effeminate about eating a bag of potato chips, and Crowder cracked a joke about that while he was debunking some of the individual claims. So, let's see. Crowder's videos repeatedly targeted Mazza. They did not change anything there. Here's the fun one down here. YouTube program. Yeah, I know you're waiting for me to read because I lost my spot and I'm trying to catch back up. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Specifically, the videos targeting Mazza have been removed and Crowder has stopped selling t-shirts that say Carlos Maza is a F-word, while pinky promising YouTube he'll never do it again. Oh, here's the update. They removed this whole claim, right? And then let me come down here to the correction notes. Correction, while Carlos Maza is a F-word, t-shirts exist. We cannot find any record of Crowder's involvement in their sale. We have removed any information to the contrary. So, y'all made... So let's be very clear about this. We're talking about Mashable. People who explicitly argue that hate speech should be a crime. So what they've done here is they have made a false allegation of crime without evidence against an innocent man. Now, they've made a correction, but only because Steven Crowder personally called and spoke to the editor-in-chief. They left this in here. Steven Crowder's channel is still spreading harmful coronavirus conspiracy theories and falsely claiming Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, of course. And, oh, adorable. They didn't bother to change that. They didn't bother to change that. Guys, Black Lives Matter is this statement, Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, that is a statement of fact under the law. That is not a claim of opinion. A statement to the contrary, that Black Lives Matter, the organization, is not a terrorist organization, is a factually false claim. The point being, one of these claims can be corroborated with evidence, namely the charter of the Black Lives Matter organization, which claims justification for violence in the pursuit of their objectives. By definition, a political organization, and they are absolutely a political organization. They're an organization that that engages in activities for the purpose of swaying political policies. And the organization and its members actively condone, excuse, and offer apologetics for the use of violence, specifically the rioting that's been going on for the last 80, what are we up to, 85 days now? We're going to hit 100 days of cities burning. So this is a factual statement. They have not corrected this here. Although the sentence is shorter. How does... I think that may just be a question of magnification between the two browser windows. Okay. People like Crowder make millions off of selling merch, doing speaking gigs, and getting their followers to support them on Patreon. Crowder's not on Patreon. In fairness, he says people like Crowder, but Crowder is not, and I don't think he's ever been on Patreon. But of course here, the thing that Maza wants, and just like all these leftist activists, it is not sufficient that they ruin you. They mean to erase you. Right? Their objective is to erase you. They are the firemen from Fahrenheit 451. They're coming to burn your books. And when the firemen come to burn your books, they put you in the room, they lock the doors, and they burn down the house that has the books in it. Man, to comply with ad-friendly guidelines and yada yada yada. So there you go. What we're looking at here is Mashable made false allegations against Steven Crowder in an article that really should never have been released because they shouldn't have had access to the information, according to Crowder's lawyer. And they're probably going to get away with it. There won't be any repercussions for Mashable, because quite frankly, the people that read articles from organizations like Mashable, that's all they read. They Tim Pool has done several good videos about the studies and the statistics on this. Left-wing voters, Democrats, self-identifying liberals, leftists, they consume exclusively left-wing news content, whereas by a wide margin, conservative people and moderates consume a wide swath, a wide tent of liberal and conservative media, and that's not by accident. That's not by accident. It's not just that conservatives are more interested in what the truth is and less interested in the ideology. It is that the majority of the media cartel, dear Viva Fry, I'm going to borrow your phrase, the cartel media, because it's a perfect phrase. The cartel media is extraordinarily biased and left-wing. So the average consumer of news that is not an active seeker of truth is exposed primarily to the cartel media, which is exclusively hard left, with the only exception being Fox News. And even Fox News is a very milquetoast conservatism. The conservatism of Fox News is it's the neocon. They're as conservative as Bill Clinton was. They're as conservative as Bill Clinton was while he was in office. But those of us who are interested in the story, in the news, and in getting more than one biased side of the news, for us to find access to more conservative news, hey, I'm biased. I'm a conservative. It's dig the wall. I will give you my right-wing perspective, my conservative opinion, but I will offer it with the facts, and my opinion will be based on what I can corroborate with the evidence given the facts. That is not the case here. In fact, that is explicitly the opposite of the case here. This writer invented allegations, and tried to pen them unjustly, and I think one might say unlawfully, because there's this thing called libel. To make a false defamatory claim in print is libel. For that to be treated like a crime, Crowder would have to file suit, pursue it, and it would have to be adjudicated. But that, as a crime, that's what it is. And I will use the word libel here because that is the crime that I'm alleging in this case. What I don't know is to what extent issuing a correction mitigates the culpability of the crime of libel. But I won't use flowery words that don't actually describe a crime, like, collusion. I'll allege the crime, and come get me. I dare you. So I'll drop a link in the description on this one. I'll drop the links to both versions of the article. I got them from Archive today, so that we're looking at the archive version. You don't have to give Mashable any money. Mashable won't make any money off of ad revenue by you going to look at the article here. I think I've covered it pretty sufficiently. So, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't waste your time going to read them. But the links will be below because, hey, I made a claim. I will offer evidence. And I think that's all I've got for you today. We will see y'all. Hopefully you're watching this on Thursday, August the 20th. We'll see you tomorrow morning for Firearms Friday.